If you're a fan of comic books, you probably know the names Neal Adams and Denny O'Neil. They are two of the most influential creators in the history of the medium, and they worked together on some of the most memorable stories ever published. But did you know that they also had a friendly rivalry that pushed them to new heights of creativity and innovation? In this video, I'll explore the collaboration and competition between these two legends, including their historic run on Green Lantern, Green Arrow, and how they changed the face of comics in the 1970s and beyond. Stay tuned for the video. Anachronic. Neal Adams was a young artist who broke into the industry in the late 1960s, bringing a realistic and dynamic style that was unlike anything seen before. He quickly became one of the most sought-after illustrators in the business, working on titles like Batman, Green Lantern, X-Men, and Avengers. Denny O'Neil was a former journalist who turned to writing comics in the late 1960s, injecting a social and political awareness that was rare at the time. He tackled issues like racism, drug abuse, corruption, and environmentalism in his stories, often challenging the status quo and the censorship of the Comics Code Authority. The partnership between Neal Adams and Denny O'Neil is often remembered for its groundbreaking stories and the revitalization of several comic book characters, most notably Batman, Green Lantern, and Green Arrow. However, the creative tension between these two legends also played a significant role in shaping the direction of the characters they worked on. O'Neil and Adams developed a rapport that was not only based on mutual respect and admiration, but also on a desire to outdo each other. They would challenge each other to come up with better ideas, better dialogue, better art, better covers. They would tease each other, arguing with each other, and sometimes even fight with each other. But they always pushed each other to produce their best work. The two first met in 1969 when they were assigned to work on Green Lantern, a series that paired a cosmic space cop with Green Arrow, the streetwise archer. They decided to use the contrast between the characters to explore the problems of modern America, creating stories that were groundbreaking and controversial. Their collaboration on Green Lantern, Green Arrow lasted for 13 issues from 1970 to 1972 and is widely regarded as one of the best runs in comic book history. It won several awards and accolades and influenced generations of creators and readers. Green Lantern, Green Arrow was a groundbreaking comic book that tackled some of the most pressing social and political issues of the time, such as racism, poverty, pollution, drug abuse, feminism, and corruption. The series paired Green Lantern, a cosmic lawman who wielded a powerful ring, with Green Arrow, a streetwise vigilante who used a bow and arrow. The contrast between their personalities and ideologies created a dynamic and often tense relationship that explored the themes of justice, morality, and responsibility. The series began in 1970 with Green Lantern number 76, which is widely considered one of the most important comics ever published. In this issue, Green Lantern is confronted by an old black man who accuses him of being a tool of the establishment and ignoring the plight of the oppressed. Green Arrow, who had witnessed the injustice and violence in America's urban ghettos, sides with the man and challenges Green Lantern to see beyond his narrow view of his role. The issue ends with Green Lantern agreeing to join Green Arrow on a journey across America to find himself and his purpose. The following issues featured stories that dealt with various topics that were rarely addressed in mainstream comics at the time. For example, in Green Lantern number 78, they met Black Canary, who falls under the influence of a cult leader inspired by Charles Manson. In Green Lantern number 79, they witnessed the exploitation and discrimination of Native Americans on a reservation. In Green Lantern numbers 85 and 86, they face one of the most personal and shocking challenges when they discover that Green Arrow's sidekick, Speedy, is a heroin addict. One of the most notable issues in this series was Green Lantern number 87, which introduced John Stewart as a new Green Lantern. John Stewart was one of the first black superheroes in mainstream comics and a significant addition to the Green Lantern mythos. O'Neil and Adams wanted to create a character who would challenge Hal Jordan's views and represent a different perspective on society. John Stewart was not only a hero, but also a critic and a rebel. He was not afraid to speak his mind or question authority. He was also loyal, brave, and intelligent. John Stewart would go on to become one of the most prominent and popular members of the Green Lantern Corps. In retrospect, it's clear that Green Lantern Green Arrow was ahead of its time. It was a visionary work that anticipated some of the trends and changes that would later affect comics and society. It was also a courageous work that dared to challenge the status quo and provoke discussion. It was not perfect or flawless, but it was honest and sincere. It had heart and soul. The O'Neill-Adams partnership didn't end with the final issue of their run on Green Lantern Green Arrow. They continued to work together on other titles, such as Batman and Detective Comics. Their work on Batman was equally groundbreaking. They stripped away the campiness that had come to be associated with the character due to the 1960s television series and returned the Dark Knight to his roots as a grim avenger of the night. Their Batman was a creature of shadow and suspense, a detective who operated in a world that felt all too real. The iconic Joker's five-way revenge story in Batman 251 is often cited as one of the greatest Batman stories ever told, re-establishing the Joker as a menacing and unpredictable foe. They also created new villains, including introducing Ra's al Ghul, who would go on to become one of Batman's most famous foes. Denny O'Neil's moody scripts and Neal Adams' fantastic art were a perfect union. They remained friends and colleagues until O'Neill's death in 2020, always respecting and admiring each other's work. They also acknowledged their rivalry as a source of inspiration and motivation. As Adams said in an interview, quote, "We were always trying to beat each other, and we did it with love. We did it with respect. We did it with admiration, but we did it." In a short requiem, he states, "Were we alike? No. Then he was a passionate Irish writer. I'm a Sasquatch, bumbling around, crashing through walls, and upsetting every apple cart in the hall. Were we friends? In our way. The best of friends. Professional friends." And as O'Neill said in another interview, quote, "We were competitors, but we were also collaborators, and we were both better for it." Denny O'Neill had a passion for social activism. He used the comic book medium as a platform to raise awareness and spark debate about the issues that he cared about. He also gave depth and complexity to the characters, making them question their beliefs and their actions. He was not afraid to show their flaws and failures, as well as their triumphs and growth. Neal Adams was one of the most innovative and influential artists in comics. He brought a realistic and dynamic style to the genre, using cinematic techniques such as dramatic angles, close-ups, and expressive faces. He also used symbolism and metaphors to enhance the mood and meaning of the stories. He was not only a master of anatomy and perspective, but also of color and lighting. He made the comic book pages come alive with energy and emotion. The partnership between Neal Adams and Denny O'Neill is often remembered for its groundbreaking stories and the revitalization of several comic book characters, most notably Batman. However, the creative tension between these two legends also played a significant role in shaping the direction of the characters they worked on. Adams and O'Neill were both passionate about their work and had strong opinions on how the story should be told and the characters should be portrayed. This sometimes led to disagreements and a competitive drive between the two. Despite this, or perhaps because of it, their collaboration resulted in some of the most memorable and significant changes in comic book history. Together, O'Neill and Adams created some of the most memorable and impactful stories in comics history. They challenged the conventions and expectations of the superhero genre, making it more relevant and mature. They also inspired generations of creators and readers who admired their courage and creativity. They showed that comics could be more than just entertainment. They could be art and commentary. This dynamic duo brought a new level of realism and social consciousness to the pages of DC Comics, leaving a legacy that continues to resonate in the industry today. Yes, a true dynamic duo of comics, Neal Adams and Denny O'Neill. In the world of comic books, few partnerships have been as influential and celebrated as theirs. Let me know if you agree. And what other partnerships have influenced comic books? Let me know your opinion in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe and like it. And as you wait for the next one, check out these. Thanks for watching. Be well, and I'll see you soon.